Hello friends and potential friends. I need to do a bit of a disclaimer. The video you're about to see is my first attempt at trying to turn beautyberry juice into beautyberry jelly. To be perfectly honest with you, I consider this attempt to be a failure because the juice did not gel. I wound up with 12 pints or 12 half pints of beautyberry syrup. Now it tasted good, and it would be useful on things like pancakes and waffles and any number of other things as a topping, but I honestly don't have a use for that much syrup. If you check in with the next video that I post, you'll see what I did to try to correct that situation. Meanwhile, this one, if you want syrup, it works. If you want jelly, I did something wrong and I haven't figured out what it was yet. There are probably a number of things I did wrong. Take it for what it's worth. Enjoy. Okay, I've got 6 cups of the juice in my pan. I've already added the first 4.5 cups of sugar. And there goes the second 4.5 cups of sugar. Now we're getting into another gray area here. Most of the recipes that I looked at say to add the sugar, the pectin, all at the same time and then bring it to a boil. Some say to bring it to a boil for 2 minutes, some say 4 minutes, some say boil it until you can test it on a cold plate and see how it runs, or you can test it on a spoon to see how it runs, to see if it's setting up. So there seems to be no consensus there. I'm going to get that sugar good mixed in, dissolved. Another point of contention, the recipe that I printed out that I'm following doesn't mention lemon juice, but several of the other recipes I've looked at and several of the videos do add lemon juice. They add anywhere from 1 tablespoon for every 3 cups to 3 tablespoons for every 3 cups. So I'm winging it here. They did mention that the lemon juice helps to bring out the color of the berries when you make the final jelly. So I'm going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of pure lemon juice for every batch that I'm making. Now I'm making 2 batches here, so I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. Remember, a total of 6 cups of the original berry juice. I have not put the pectin in yet. It is changing the color. Looks like it's giving it more of a reddish tint to it. So I'm going to turn the heat on. And I'm going to add the pectin into it. Because I'm doing 2 batches, I need to use 2 packets of the Sure Gel. And when I bought it, I got the powder instead of the liquid, so didn't notice it at the time, but that's what I'm using. Basically, there's 2 cups or 2 packets of the pectin. Now I've got the heat turned on, so that should slowly be coming to a boil. Still pretty hot. Hopefully it won't take too long. But here's where I'm going to just continue stirring it constantly until the process is finished. You do not want it to scorch. Okay, that buzzer was 2 minutes since it started boiling. As you saw, it tried to boil out of the pot. I was able to stir it down. I still can't tell that it's setting up any. In some of the videos that I saw, they just kept stirring and stirring and boiling until it did start setting up. But I've never done that making jelly before. Usually it's pretty strict time limits on everything. I don't know, it should be about the same. I can tell when I'm stirring it now that it is starting to thicken a little bit. Still not sheeting off the spoon. Of course, maybe I'd have to use a metal spoon to be able to see that. Where'd I put my metal spoon? No, it's not really sheeting. Of course, I don't know what I'm looking for either, so I guess that shouldn't really count. But everything is in there. It definitely changed colors. So let's go ahead and fill up some jars and see what we got. Yeah, it does feel a little bit syrupy. I'm going to pick it up. Again, I'm going to shoot for about 1/2 inch of headspace. And then into the water bath canner. I'll finish up the rest of these and then I'll bring you back. Okay, I've got the 12 half pints in the water bath canner. It's coming up to boil. It's already starting to bubble a little bit. Once it comes to a boil, I'll process it for 10 minutes and then it'll be ready to come out. And from the looks of all this juice I've got laying around here, I might have to make 2 or 3 more batches. I do have about a 1/2 pint over there in that pint jar that I'm going to put in the refrigerator and use that as a sample. Okay, there we are. 1 dozen 1/2 cup or 1/2 pint jars of beauty berry syrup / jelly. Bring some out into the light so you can see what it looks like. It looks pretty. And I hear pings. So those will sit out overnight. Tomorrow I'll test the sample and see if it gelled up. And if it did, well, I got more juice over there I need to process. I'm either going to process it or I'm going to freeze it. We'll see which. That right there is probably a year's supply. Unless, of course, I decide to give things away for Christmas. Maybe the family will get jelly this year. But hopefully I made that process clear. Hopefully I straightened out some of the things that confused me so that you don't get confused over it. Hopefully this will be as good as it looks. I'll see you on the next one.